Here's to another automated video. This one looks pretty good. I might watch some of these on the... It's gonna be mentioned on this list. Best anime where the MC is overpowered, but hides it. Man, their reactions are always so satisfying. They're like, oh, what? What? He was that strong? What? Nani? Boyo?
If you were the most overpowered being on the entire planet, what would you do? Would you relish in that power, making the world recognize you for the masterpiece that you are? Or would you prefer to live a regular life as an ordinary Joe, letting your powers out only when the situation calls for it? Whichever camp that you're in, let me know down in the comment section below.
Which one will
the title's already a spoiler for this one. Whichever camp that you're in life as an ordinary Joe, can the world recognize you for the master planet? What would you do? Would you relish in that power, making the world recognize you for the masterpiece that you are? Or would you prefer to live a regular life as an ordinary Joe, letting your powers out only when the situation calls for it?
I say half and half,
you know,
half.
Let me know down in the comment section below. Well, the title's already a spoiler
Or
for this
be
one,
completely
isn't it?
innocent with it.
A look at
Half.
what I think are the top shows that deal with the latter. Only to get cool the world looks. I just dig the setting so much with how it intertwines magic and science in a more elaborate way than what we're used to getting in these urban fantasies. For others, however, the appeal lies in the sheer satisfaction of our protagonist constantly getting underestimated and showing everyone what he's made of. After all, he may be classified as a lower tier student in terms of only one specific area, but in terms of everything else, there's little that God Suya can't do. With the protagonist being the equivalent of a military superweapon, a genius engineer, a lethal battler, and a master analyst, we could all agree that the God Suya nickname is more than deserved. Dare touch Miyuki and say goodbye, as they say.
Ooh, I think I've heard of this before.
Back in the days when people talked about Mahouka, somewhere down the line there'd be a mention of SAO. The two have been heavily promoted together since they're under the same publishing label, both star an introverted OP guy, they have the same pseudo-harem elements, and they both are polarizing to say the least. Mahouka and SAO's second seasons even aired at the same time period, which brings me to a title about video games. Enter King's Avatar, a story of the greatest glory players fall from grace and road towards triumph. Well, we've got a lot of shows about video games, not a lot really put as much focus on the actual esports and out-of-game aspects of it, something which I think gave King's Avatar its major niche in the scene. Where else would you find an anime that gives you so much insight on the business or political side of being an esports player? It was an unexpected hit that took a while to pick up with the fans, but Yishu's journey, starting from having everything taken away from him and ending with him championing a new legacy with his new account, had me constantly on the edge of my seat. If you're up for an esports story that puts in great focus on the drama outside the actual game, then King's Avatar may be the one for you.
Yeah, I don't know. That's side.
King's Avatar isn't a pushover in terms of cool fights, but you would think that if you put it side by side with our next entry, Mob Psycho.
Mob Psycho was really good.
Mob Psycho, popular
Season 3 coming soon.
Which gets lauded for its breathtaking animation and fight direction. It wasn't a surprise that Mob Psycho became such a big hit. When I watched it, I was just taken aback. How could you not be with a show that's this exciting, especially in a genre that I'm very fond of? Well, Mob himself may not like how much I just talked up about his show. Socially awkward and incapable of reading the atmosphere, Mob, whose real name is Shigeo Kageyama, has a lack of friends, and that doesn't really bother him. It's better that way, especially given his amazing powers that are tied to his emotions. Bullies, really beware. Mob may not look it, but push him and you'll live your life regretting it. Overall, the animations are the main attraction of Mob Psycho, but I also love the series so much for its intricate character writing. The dynamics and the character development parts are so top-notch that I find it quite unfortunate that they actually get overshadowed.
It's really good. If y'all haven't seen this, y'all should watch it.
Motivate me to keep longer, so let's get back to the show.
I never finished this one. But the hype was pretty big around this
Talking
one.
about this show just takes me back. It took no less than an episode for God of High School to wow the world with its animation, fluid fights, and premise that quickly hooked people in. Fighting tournament anime are rare, but there's
They
something
needed
so
an
unique
anime
about
solo
the way God of
leveling,
High
if
School went
anything.
about it. I don't know if Baki is the most proper comparison to this, but it just has that atmosphere to how over the top the fights become, with tournament participants coming in literally all shapes and sizes. It's a battle royale for the ages, and while I won't say this is my favorite webtoon adaptation among the ones 2020 gave us, it's one hell of an adrenaline
It's been a
booster.
whole
God of High
year,
School may
bruh.
have its shortcomings in terms of pacing and
Yeah, it's
decision.
good. Oh, I need to watch this one. I heard this was really
Wait,
good.
Code Geass? Yeah, I get that surprise reaction. For such a spectacular and charismatic character, you wouldn't really expect Lelouch to be
I don't
one of
know.
these people.
What's
Most
stopping me from
images
watching
you
this
find of
is
him
the
having looking
animation.
so
It's
full
kind
of
of old.
swag, and he's known to be a master
Old
chess master
animation.
amongst chess masters in the world of anime. Well, he never started out that way, and that's after his development, a long road where he actually learns to drop the stoic facade and become more emotional,
Gundams
heroic,
and
and
me,
extreme in his
Good point.
ways. Which is just one of the things to show what a ride Code Geass was, especially for those following it in the late 2000s. Combining the cool appeal of mecha anime and its tension-filled fights with more mature content like politics, morals, and psychology, Code Geass managed to catapult itself to the upper echelons of critically acclaimed anime. It was such a phenomenon that the franchise still gets new content to this day, and when it does, expect the internet,
Really?
well, the older sector of it, to blow up in hype. Code Geass is really a show that you just have to see. Its recognition is more than well deserved, and I wouldn't do it justice just by talking about it like this. It is
Yeah, I might watch it in the
2015's
future.
phenomenon, One Punch
Yeah, this is
Man.
always good. I don't know anybody who hasn't heard of this dude or seen this show, bro.
Now, the list
All
of this goalie
Netflix.
is to
All
heart-pounding
Netflix.
battle shit dog story. Let's not stop with one Chinese anime and go to the next one with Full-Time Magister.
I already don't like it. I already know I don't like this one.
You've got a world intertwined feel. Unfortunately, more key poverty in it reminds you task of following the rise of the. Defeating a demon lord at a young age grants you immense power, so great that we finished the Chinese anime train with daily life
Ooh,
of
this
a
looks
mortal
not bad.
king.
Ooh, look at that animation. Damn.
Defeating a demon lord at a young age grants you immense power, so great that Wang Ling,
Ooh,
now
I might watch this
reincarnated in the
one.
present, faces his greatest challenge, senior high school. Talk about Arnos Voldigode vibes. Unlike
Maybe.
Arnos, though, Wang Ling decides to
The
tuck
high
his
school
powers
setting is a
away
real
and live a
turn off.
life as a carefree teenager. That's all he wants to do. None of the supernatural craziness, none of that world-ending magic. Instead, he just wants to be a plain old high schooler. Of course, the end of the rock and life. Psychic powers are a blessing, right? Apparently not if you're Guso Psyche, who wants nothing more than to have an ordinary life free of the supernatural
think I saw
inconveniences.
some of this.
However,
It was
with
alright.
powers as strong as his, that's a lot easier said than done. Especially if various animated personalities want nothing more than to hound you thanks to the abilities. Psyche's life is indeed nothing short of disastrous, and fun to watch for the viewers though. This series of shorts has been a fan favourite among anime fans. It also didn't take too long for me to be caught up in the wave, and it's a show that I'm glad I picked up. The episodes are very easy to watch and come up with all sorts of creative circumstances to be used for creativity. A short can also feel Psyche's pain as the world just won't leave him alone. Whether you're someone who likes comedy anime or not, I can easily recommend this one for you. With 5 minutes per episode, the 200 episode count is not as
For
daunting
real?
as it may seem. It's a really good way to pass the time with
Is
some
that short?
magical craziness. The whole cast of weirdos will keep you in stitches, and if they don't do it to you in the scenarios, the fourth wall break surely will.
ただ届かなかったら困るから気持ち強めに
And there you have it. Those are my top picks for shows where the main protagonist is hidden OP. Which one amongst those is your favorite? Let me know down in the comments section below. Now, if you think you're up for more of this sort of thing, then please check the channel for more countdown videos. The channel mostly caters to shonen and
definitely want Punch
psychological
Man, bro.
suspense fans, but there's also content
They need a
about
new
romance
season for
and
that
drama
shit.
titles.
I wanna
Support
see where that
would
wolf
also
guy
be much
goes.
appreciated as well, and that can be either in the form
The
of
wolf
channel
student?
memberships, my
Whatever.
Patreon, or Instagram. Let's help each other grow those communities, right? It's
alright.
been a pleasure,
That's
and I
cool.
hope to see you next.
Alright, y'all. Peace.